Hey, all right. So this is going to be a quick one. I want to come forward today to share a little bit about some of the things, the three main things I do with clients to increase their capacity to be seen, to receive clients, to get paid more. I call this live, they lied. You don't get what you put in. And what I want you to realize is this: if we actually received, if we actually got out what we put in, then a huge amount of purpose driven entrepreneurs and leaders would be millionaires 10 times over. Here's the truth: the person who makes 10 times, 100 times what you make, 1,000 times what you make, they don't work 10 times, 100 times, or 1,000 times more hours or harder than you. On the contrary, a lot of the time, they might actually work less than you. So the truth is, we don't get out what we put in. We get out what our nervous system is wired to allow us to receive. What you get out from all your effort is one, what you subconsciously believe is safe for you to allow in, that you have the capacity to hold. And two, you get out what you subconsciously believe you are worthy and deserving of receiving. And that is, again, unconscious. It's not up at the forefront of our mind. It's about conditioning, it's about deep wounding from childhood, it's about unconscious messages we have received all along our lives that we don't realize are still operating behind the curtains in the dark. So, which is why I always say that money work is body work, because all the traumas, all the woundings, all the conditioning, and the contractions are held in the body. And those contractions kind of dictate to some degree what you will allow yourself to receive or not. So, your results are not defined by strategy or by how hard you work. They're defined by your identity. Especially, they're defined by the identity that you're holding as you decide and as you execute the strategies. So, who are you being as you are doing that, my friend, has a big effect on your results. The other piece of that is what affects you is your identity, the version of you, who you are being when the result starts to flow in, because that defines your ability to hold your results and your ability to replicate them. So, our identity, our neurology, as we're implementing and executing the strategies of our choice, matters because our entire sense of expansion or contraction is literally held in that, in the words we're using, in our facial features, in our voice if we're going live, in sales calls. But also your identity when the results start flowing in. Are you able to celebrate them? Do those results start to feel natural? Do they feel expansive, or are you starting to get worried? Do they feel like a lot? So who you're being as you start to receive the results you want also defines that degree of safety and groundedness that you will have in holding them, having them, and replicating them. So whenever I start to work with clients, there tends to be, especially when we talk about there tends to be three things that we focus on quite a bit. The first is I always look at all the blocks in their nervous system that are going to keep them contracted. They're going to keep them playing small, hiding out, unable to ask for what they want, unable to show up powerfully or execute consistently. Um, and these nervous system wounds oftentimes are like deep stuff from childhood, and they're going to pop up and they're going to make them invisible. They're going to make them unable to receive and hold the clients, the money they desire. It's going to keep them stuck in patterns of people pleasing, overgiving, um, overextending, undercharging out of a fear of being criticized, being rejected. And by the way, we all have these deep-seated contractions, these wounds in our bodies, in our system. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're trying to get to your first 5K months, your first 50K months, or you're trying to have $1 million day. It doesn't matter. Anytime you up level to a new level, some of these old wounds will pop up to be made whole again, to be unlocked again. Because every new level requires a new level of safety, which is why I like to say that safety is the foundation of sovereignty. It's also the foundation of money. So as we recode our nervous system, when I'm working with my clients, is one, healing these old wounds, which I refer to as providing the missing experience. What did we need as children to feel truly safe being ourselves, to feel truly safe showing up in the fullness of ourselves, to feel safe being big and claiming our power, to feel safe asking for what we want, going after what we want, to feel safe receiving what we want? What did we need to experience to know that we were loved, that we were supported, that our parents' life was proud of us? So when you start to meet these individual wounds and you start to provide that missing experience, it's like you unlock yourself. You unlock such degrees of safety that you can become fully yourself and you can show up in that bigness. You can be seen in that bigness. So what I'm doing here is I'm helping my clients not only heal all of that, but in the healing of all of that, start to anchor their nervous system in a sort of calm confidence, in an enthusiasm, an unwavering trust in life, in themselves, in the work they do, the value they provide, in their worth. Not just their worth financially, but their worth innately. Because all of that calm confidence, that certainty, that unwavering sense of safety, of trust, of worth and value starts to ripple in everything you do, in your pricing, in your marketing, in your messaging, in the offers that you have, and the level of work that you provide, the level of leadership that you provide in the work that you do. So that's the first thing we do. We're finding the wounds, we're healing them, and we're anchoring expansion, essentially. We're anchoring that certainty, that calm, that confidence, that unwavering sense of trust, of safety, of worth. The second thing I do with clients, and this is more the strategic piece, is I help them dig out what I call their golden thread, or the golden thread of their work. This is, I think of the golden thread as a big idea, something that each of us have that is unique to the work we do. It's our authentic positioning. It's what allows our work to feel completely different than the competition, even if we're in the same industry. The way we do it and the subtle shift of perspective, of the subtle shift of process, is actually what unlocks our clients' results. So for me, for example, it's the work that I do mixing neurology or nervous system work with brain work, with identity mixed in with strategy. For me, just doing Like mindset work is not enough. It needs to go deep in the body. We need to rewire our brain. We need to rewire our nervous system. We need to upgrade our energy level and our vitality. And then we need to marry that with strategy. But everyone, every single person I work with has a golden thread, something that literally makes them unable to compete with. It literally crumbles the competition. It allows them to be a disruptor of the status quo. This oftentimes that golden thread is the reason why people in client like people who struggle with the problem you solve don't get results or don't get the fullness of the results they could get working with another facilitator, another practitioner. So this golden thread within each of us will build an authority, will bring a sort of freshness and thought leadership that will allow us to really step into the fact that we are here as an ambassador to our gifts. We are here to disrupt, like I said, the status quo and to bring a whole new way of doing what we do to change the world. So when clients have their golden thread, that's when we kind of rearrange their whole business model around that. We create a really articulated, potent message around it. We rearrange the marketing, their content, their copy, their offers to be in alignment with this golden thread to match it. And it is that golden thread that essentially creates that sense of exclusivity and a compelling personal brand and business that will speak to their ideal client. And this is what people don't get. Branding isn't about color or being cute. It's about that message. It's about that positioning. It's about how you are a disruptor of the status quo in your industry, and you have a way of doing it that is slightly different than everybody else. Once you claim that in here, then it's like the continuation of that nervous system work. Your ability to step in that calm confidence, your ability to step in that certainty, in that conviction, in that sense of value and worth is like 10x. And that shows up in your lives, in your content, in your sales call, in everything you do, in the way you hold clients. And it starts to ripple in your leadership as well as your receivership. So that's the second piece. Really figuring out that golden thread and rewiring your whole business model around it. And then the last thing I will say here that I think is really important that I do with clients is I really help them like shift their nervous system, their life, their work towards simplicity, towards ease, towards enjoyment. Because the truth is that if you don't love what you're doing, if you can't execute it because it saps the life out of you, then it's not success. I don't care how much money you're making. So what I do with the clients is rewire their business as well as their nervous system to feel really safe, really easeful, and really supported. Money has to feel supportive. Your business, your work should feel like a safe place to you. And as long as it doesn't, as long as it feels overwhelming, draining, like the more you do, the less freedom you'll have, like every time you make money, there's a cost or a sacrifice. As long as there isn't that deep rootedness of simplicity and flow and ease and enjoyment, something in you will always resist expansion. Something in you will always resist and sabotage your growth and the results you say you want. I'm looking at my notes, seeing if there's anything else I want to say about this. Yeah, I said that. Money has to feel supportive, not draining. And that's really, really important. Essentially, you want implementing, executing, marketing, selling, receiving money, and holding on to money to create no friction inside you, to create no resistance, to create no resentment. And you want it to feel deeply natural and easeful and almost expected. Like it's so natural that it's expected, it's normal for you. This is what it takes to create consistent, scalable results that feel really delightful and never draining. This nervous system work, this expansion work, is truly the work that makes everything you do not only work, but work in a way that actually truly nourishes all of you, from your heart all the way to your bank account. Because if it doesn't nourish your heart, I don't care. It's not real success, as I said. So that's what I have for you. You get to receive what you're wired for. And the way to really shift that and to bring in more of everything you want from me rests in these three things: healing and essentially rewiring, unlocking all the wounds within your body that have made you feel like it's safer to stay small, have made you feel like you're unworthy or not capable, and led you to doubt yourself, led you to not show up fully, led you to overgive and undercharge. Then the second thing is to really find your unique positioning, your golden thread in the work you do, in your leadership style, in how you show up, what's going to be a disruptor, what's going to be wholly unique to you, a fresh new voice in your industry. And essentially awaken that genius, that thought leadership within you and start to lead from there. That's the second one. And then the third is to really start to rewire everything within you towards ease and towards flow and towards a sense of simplicity so that nothing in you resents your success and starts to resist it, starts to sabotage it. So if you desire to shift out of that sense of contraction into a place of regulation, liberation, and then expansion, and you want to learn how to unlock the potency of you through your nervous system so that you can create really consistent, joyful, up-leveled results, then I would love for us to work together. And there's a couple ways to get started. The first one is if you've never had a Wired for Wealth intensive with me, then I want to invite you to book one. They're basically over 50% off than my regular rates. It's 90 minutes, one-on-one with you, where we do kind of like an in-depth look at everything that's holding you back. And then I share with you my proprietary process to unlock you, to move you out of that sense of contraction, to start giving yourself those missing experiences so that you can come into liberation and expansion. If you've already booked one of those and you want to actually do more work, go deeper with me, then you can book a free enrollment conversation where we'll kind of look at where you're at, what you're wanting to accomplish, what your budget is, and we'll choose a path forward that makes a lot of sense for you. The link to both of those are in the description of this training. I would be honored if you allowed me to put my 20 years of experience as a psychotherapist, as an expansion expert, as a strategist to work for you. I would love to kind of show you how marrying neurology with identity and with strategy work can completely shift and up-level your current set point, can increase your capacity for more money, more clients, more opportunities, more joy, more of everything you want, and really help you create something completely new, a totally new experience in you, in your life, in your leadership, and of course, in your work and in your income. So if that feels worth exploring, then just click one of the links in the description of this video and let's do some work together. All right, that's what I have for you. Mwah. Have a great week. I will see you later on this week